Hello everyone, welcome to my channel for another video talking about the influence of the new moon and how we can use it to harness the most for our life, for our evolution and our well-being. My name is Donatella Moltisanti, if you're new here to my channel, and I am a transformational Jungian coach. I combine the multidimensional aspect of the spirituality, neuroscience, and Jungian psychoanalysis. So the moon in Sagittarius today is a very good moon to bring into our consciousness. Sagittarius influence in this moon is very powerful for us to go within. We have a few planetary systems going into retrograde, and one of these is Mercury just went to retrograde a few days ago. Mercury is about higher thinking. It's about connection with the divine mind. When Mercury goes retrograde, is for us to slow down, to connect, to invite our ego, our mind, to connect to our higher mind, and receive information, receive knowledge, having the ability to translate into this knowledge into our lives, in our connection with others, in our dialogues, in our intellectualization. I invite you to see Mercury influence when it goes in retrograde in a positive way, so that you can uplift and upgrade your way of thinking. Another planet that is going retrograde is Mars. And Mars is a planet of action. And so the action is taken within. Again, we need to look what is it we need to take action in our lives, in our attitudes, what is the energy that is running low that we want to elevate. When there's a new moon, the sun and the moon are together, and this conjunction manifests in our masculine and our feminine. And when we unite these forces, this is a time to bring the seed in the womb of the moon. That's the reason why I connect a day like this, where the moon brings the constellations together for us, because the constellation really have human feelings, human traits of human personalities, and it's for us to be guided into a better space, into uplifting the frequency of the moon from a lower frequency to a higher frequency. So to me, it's important to use the cosmos as a bird view to allow us to go inside and feel and have an opportunity to see what is unconscious. So what is conscious, we know, but as we are conscious, there's other things that are unconscious that are happening. When we get to an alignment with the moon and the divine timing and divine vision, we have an opportunity to see more what is happening within. So it's a great opportunity to evolve, connecting with the cosmic cycles. This moon is bringing a lot of changes that bring freedom, that bring freedom from higher consciousness. It brings slowing down. Sagittarius brings the enthusiasm, optimism, the space within that comes from inner liberation. The inner liberation of Sagittarius comes from its connection with Kairos. Kairos is the planet of the wounded healer. The wounded healer is an archetype that we want to tap into to bring ourselves into healing our own wounds. What teaches us Chiron is the ability to transform not only through regular, ordinary process and transforming everything that comes in our life, but also to make quantum jumps. So the story goes, the archetype shows us that Chiron carries the ultimate shadow of humanity, which is the shadow of abandonment. So the mother, when he was born, he was half man and half horse, is a Centaurus, And these were beasts that were very violent. They were raping women and fighting a lot. So the mother was horrified and left and abandoned the child. And she actually decided to she became a tree from being a nymph. So he felt the journey of Chiron shows that he started to elevate. He became a scholar. So he transmuted, he completed his nature. From being a violent in nature, he became extremely peaceful, a deep meditator. He was a mentor to the heroes. He was really known for his wisdom. So all his work was to transmute the nature, the very nature that the mother rejected. But the pain of the rejection of the mother was still inside. It was always in pain. This pain of the shadow manifested like it manifests in our lives through so many aspects. So one thing happened to Chiron was that while he was training one of the heroes, he got injured in his foot, and his foot was bleeding and was in extreme pain. Now, Chiron is immortal, so his pain was symbolically there for all his existence. So this is when we reacted to the shadow, when we keep bettering ourselves and transforming ourselves and even rejecting our nature to feel better about ourselves, but the shadow is still there. It will keep us in pain for as long as will be, because it's eternal. If it's not resolved, it's eternal. So what Chiron does, chooses to release, to give away his immortality, and becomes a constellation, which is the constellation of Sagittarius. So he released his completely, he released his attachment to the pain, he released his attachment to his story, he released his attachment to the mother complex, which we all carry, and the original complex of the mother archetype. So he became the freedom of Sagittarius comes from the ultimate transformation that Chiron made about himself and his pain and his and whatever happened to him. So this is, for me, is extremely inspiring, and this is the inspiration is part of Sagittarius, because it really teaches us that we can let it go, and with the bird view that the moon allows us to have, we can see so many different aspects, right? We can see the terror of the mother, understand what the mother condition were in that moment, to the point that she also released her own nature and became a tree. Symbolically, it's like the traumas take us to outside our own self and our own center, and the coming outside of that center creates so many generational problems. And there will be a moment of one of us wakes up and resolves these generational problems and takes it to the higher level, the highest level. So the quantum jump of transformation that Chiron made for us to learn from it. So the ability to connect to these energies today is to really, for us to see how important it is to tune into these fields and meditate, find some space inside, some voice, awaken the voice. Another energies of Sagittarius is intuition. What is intuition? According to Jung, intuition is a force that comes and precedes the events. So intuition makes you understand things before they just happened, and also understand the nature of what it is, even if it's not all visible. But intuition makes you see beyond what the eyes of the mind can detect. So intuition is like the imagination of the intuition, the willingness to imagine big, to see the freedom not coming from outside the circumstances, but coming from inside. So in really going inside into it, what is that I am attached to that keeps me in this trap of identifying with the pain, identifying with what happened to me, instead of looking at myself from a very high standpoint where everything in myself, my human self and my divine nature, the nature of my trauma, then what is all these parts of myself that belong to me, that don't belong to me, that needs to die, that needs to rebirth. So this is a very beautiful moon for us to navigate these inner spaces, because it's through the inner spaces that we find the true freedom. Let's move on to the cards to see how to align to these energies on a direct way, without bringing in what we don't want, but focusing on what we want, speaking the language of the subconscious mind, so that once you express this wants, you won't have to think about it. It's something that goes on your unconscious level, goes in the language of your unconscious mind, and it's the seed that you're giving to the moon for this cycle. Here we go. So this is the cards for this month. So the main energies that we are facing at this time is energy of truth, enthusiasm, freedom, intuition, sense of adventure. Sagittarius brings a lot of energy of faith. So if you have a lack of faith, it will be very clear to you. If it's something that you need to bump up your faith, this is a good time. The inspiration, it's really deep. A sense of optimism, if you have a tendency to be pessimistic and to see your cup half empty, this is a time to really tune in and dare to feel more optimistic, to be willing to receive. In the body, the energy of Sagittarius influences our liver, so a sense of fire. The energy of Sagittarius is really the inner fire. And so the liver, to balance the liver, to release excessive fire, to bring fire in the liver, this is time to do it. Shortcuts is the energy that one of the lower frequencies. It's the shadow of Sagittarius, could be that tends to create shortcuts and uses freedom to evade, to not commit, an adventure to be solitary and to disappear. So if you have that lower frequency of Sagittarius, this is a good time for you to bring freedom within, the truth, to set you free, and intuition to really understand the truth within yourself and others. So I would like to work on the energy of adventure. Let's see. So I'm asking to accept the spirit of adventure that burns in my heart. So we have a sense of freedom that sometimes we give up. We give up because we are overburdened by a sense of duty, and we do things out of we have to do out of duty, and not out of the original spirit the reason why we chose to do it, or why we didn't choose to do it. So it's really to bring adventures in every aspect of our lives, and to allow our heart to burn with that spirit of adventure. Even an experience, like sometimes it's not positive, to consider as an adventure will change the outcome of the experience itself. I'm asking to easily understand the experiences that life presents and transform them into pure adventure. Very good. So that's exactly what I was talking about. Like really understand the lessons and take it as an adventure. I'm asking for the strength of daring life's changes, and to have the courage to take to transform them into the reality that I choose to co-create. So I'm asking for the strength. So we are asking for strength to transform whatever happens to us, to accept the change, and to be present with the fire of Sagittarius, courage, and then choose to co-create with that energy, not to become passive or to be victimized by it. I'm asking to see the sky as the limitless source of the beauty and freedom that permeates my life. So this is the sky is the limit. That's where Chiron asks us to believe. That's where the faith comes from. And let's talk about faith. I'm asking to believe in the force of life that always follow and always follow that force. Like it really feel the force of life, like the spirit, your soul, the fire of your spirit, and to really follow this connection with your higher self, connection to your source, whatever you believe it is, and really to follow that, to have an inner focus. That's the symbol of the archer in Sagittarius. I'm asking to receive the insightful vision that God has of me. So really connected to the intimate relationship with God that gives you the faith, you know that you make sense in the eyes of God. I'm asking to nurture the inevitable sensation of invincibility that comes into me when faith resides in my heart. So that sense of self-assurance, security, groundedness, belonging. The belonging that comes from the knowing that you belong to your source and feeling safe. The sense of invincibility is that safety that comes with it. I'm asking to effortlessly envision in front of my eyes everything that faith whispers in my heart. So really to have an intuition, to be open, to trust, and to allow faith to be the guidance in your life. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure for me to share with you the way I connected with the moon, the way I use the archetypes present in the moon cycles to help me evolve, to develop a language to talk to my unconscious mind, to put my seed, my wants into the womb of the moon, and to really honor myself, honor the cosmos, and honor all of us in this unity of high bird view of ourselves and the world. Thank you so much, and see you for the next full moon.